Let's move on to the final chase for today. Well, I shouldn't be laughing because this is actually a serious issue. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is about the EFCC, right? Nigeria's Economic Financial Crimes Commission. For those who know the EFCC, it's supposed to be like the agency that combats financial crimes in the country, right? So things like corruption, misappropriation of fraud or funds, fraud, Yahoo, internet fraud, like quality Yahoo, right? They are the agencies responsible for marshalling those kind of activities and bringing criminals to book. Now, the EFCC has been notorious for doing something that Nigerians have been calling out for the longest time, which is night raid, right? Night raids, that's like the act of bumbling into people's homes in the night, either by scaling their fence or breaking down the doors to arrest suspected criminals. An EFCC official by the name of Halisu Sahabi, I don't know if I got that name right, I'm sorry, but Halisu Sahabi has unfortunately lost his life while carrying out a night raid in Awka, Anambra State. Halisu and his colleagues were carrying out a night bust in the area where they had suspected some internet fraudsters. And in the course of trying to gain access into one of the homes of the suspects, he was fired upon by the occupant of that house, who happened to have a pump action weapon. Salisu was hit, as well as one of his other colleagues. Unfortunately, Salisu did not survive, and he was pronounced, Halisu, he was pronounced dead. This has sparked a wide range of reactions across both the citizens and the law enforcement agencies, who have given different styles of the stories to what really happened. Some people have said that why would the EFCC operate like a thief, trying to arrest or gain forceful entry into people's homes in the middle of the night to effect an arrest? What happens to those, trying to track them during their day jobs, or doing what every normal security agency does, serve an arrest warrant, and then if the person refuses to show up, then you can follow more professional means to, apprehend the victim. I don't know, Resh, what do you think? I think that it's crazy. I tried to find out what the procedure is for carrying out an arrest by the EFCC. I tried to find out if it was actually legal to gain forceful entry into a suspect's home, especially when you haven't served like an official warrant to effect an arrest. I didn't see, to my own fairness, I didn't see any document, publicly available that outlines that it is actually lawful to break in, because that's what they did. They said they tried to knock on the door, ask for entry. The guy didn't let them in because he was afraid that they were thieves, and then they actually broke into the house, and it was on breaking into the house the guy fired, right? So in his defense, he says he thought they were armed robbers, right? And the EFCC have said no, those guys were carrying out their lawful activity, and then the guy who did the shooting is going to be prosecuted on murder charges, right? But what do you think about this, really? Do you think that the EFCC have a case in this point? Or is it really a case of self-defense?
If we're, we've talked about, the Kemi Badenoch and some of the things that she was talking about and all. I think this also ties into it. These are the things that Nigerians go through, They said somebody is a Yahoo and all. When they checked the guy's laptop, he was actually coding. Yeah. Allegedly, that's what they said he was doing.
Like he was running codes?
Yeah, he was coding.
Like Python and stuff?
Maybe he was doing
Web3?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff?
Yeah. Maybe he was doing like a PP or what have you, and maybe like side job and stuff. That's what he was doing and all. And they broke into his house. Let's not also forget that the East has gone through, some level of, hostility.
Yeah.
When it comes to Biafra, the Eastern something Army, what have you.
Eastern Security Network. They've been going through a lot of stuff, to be honest.
I know. And there's been a lot of kidnapping as well.
Yeah.
That happens in that, what's it called? So it's very frustrating, really. It's very frustrating. And I'm sure that part of the reason why maybe the guy's dad got the gun was for self-protection, But whenever these guys come, they want to come and do this and we'll actually finish it up here. And that's the reason why the guy got a gun, to begin with. So for me, I don't know, there's a lot of injustice, this country doesn't treat us well. People kind of, and that's the reason why, you don't blame people that decide to relocate, and to go and find greener pastures, to go and find some level of succor somewhere else, because even in your own home state, where you're supposed to be able to go to bed, with your eyes closed and all. If they say, okay, he's, yahoo,
Yeah.
and you have it on, solid ground that is yahoo, you can serve him a letter first now, to come to your, office, and all.
Yeah.
And the way, EFCC should be operating, they should be operating on a very, very high-techy, technology type of levels and stuff.
Yeah.
Where you can actually, break into the cloud, and get, some information, break into the IP address and say, okay, with so, you are browsing so, with so, and all. You have, this thing is a government established organization and stuff. Take them out for, web training, cybersecurity training and stuff and all, where they can actually do, real work.
Yeah.
You don't just carry guns, and just break into people's houses, in the dead of the night, and you don't want them to do anything. You just want to waylay them, make life miserable for them, and then you arrest them, take them to, wherever you want to take them. And that night, I don't know if you've seen videos that people will just post videos upstairs and, online and say, this is what we experienced. So,
yeah.
The middle of the night, they've carried my husband, and all and everything, and there is no, public, address to say, okay, maybe this also person was doing this, so that's why we went to the house and stuff. They don't even know. The wife, sometimes the wife will just be crying like, we don't know where they're coming from. They didn't say anything. They just carried my husband and all. I've seen those videos maybe like 2 or 3 times, maybe in the past 3 months or so and all. Yeah. So what do you really want people to do?
I saw an article where, I think in 2023, the head of the EFCC at the time had banned night raids. No jokes. 2023. They banned night raids. Right. So in the communication that the EFCC put out on their X account concerning this incident, they said the officers were carrying out their lawful duty. So if night raids have been banned by the EFCC, how is they now carrying out night raids lawful activity? That's where the disconnect is for me, right? And I looked a little deeper into the story, and it turns out that what these guys were doing was basically a fishing expedition.
Yeah.
They just mapped out an area and said, you know what, we're going to identify areas that have like luxury cars, apartments, and then we're going to just flush in. They had gone in and arrested about 37 people initially from a different apartment. And what's so funny is, at the time when they were about to, swoop into the next operation, they got stopped by the police, who said, oh, they are not aware that the EFCC is carrying the operation today. The police has not been given the due notification because that is their jurisdiction. And so because the police sort of gave them that resistance, they couldn't attack the original location that they wanted to. So they went scouting for other locations. It was while they were scouting for other locations that they identified this apartment where they saw like 2 luxury cars, and they thought, oh, okay, it's like Yahoo Boy can be inside here too. So they weren't really acting on any intelligible intelligence like that to identify that particular house. They just profiled the house and felt like, oh, this is probably Yahoo Boy territory. This Yahoo Boy is in here. And that was how they went in. And then the EFCC, in their own official statement, apart from the fact that they said that these guys were operating on their lawful activity, they also said that they got all the necessary approval from the Anambra State Police Command, and the command was aware that the operation was going to be carried out. So again, there's another disconnect.
What's the conflicting?
Yes, there's another disconnect, because in one side of the story, we're hearing that police officers actually intervened and said the EFCC should not be carrying out activity at that point in time because they didn't have due approval or they didn't serve due notice. The EFCC is saying they got all the necessary approval from the police command to carry out that operation, and then they're carrying out in the night, which the EFCC had already banned. That night raid should no longer be a line of action for EFCC agents. So, confusion everywhere. The chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Olukade, has a lot of work to do in cleaning up this agency. It was just a couple of days ago, we saw in the news, one of the EFCC agents stole money. Stole exhibit money and ran away. The EFCC is looking for him right now. Like he's a staff. Money was confiscated by the EFCC. The guy stole the money and ran.
They've been doing that once for ages now.
So, I mean, that does show this is supposed to be a law enforcement agency, and we are seeing the lack of professionalism. We are seeing the lack of coordination. We are seeing the lack of, ethics. And I wonder, how are they supposed to be the one to sanitize the environment or the society if their own act isn't just put together right?
Well, we're in a fix, really. We're in a fix in Nigeria. And it will require like a revamp of the system, and it will require people of extra willpower, to actually get us, out of this mess that we are in. Feels like everybody is just doing their own thing. I saw a post. I saw a post by a police officer. I don't know. I think that was early today. And the police, I think he was the spokesperson to the police, was like, the police doesn't need a warrant to arrest, and all.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's probably Olumiwa, the spokesman.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Nigerian police spokesman.
Police doesn't need a warrant to arrest, and all. So, if maybe you're just walking and police doesn't like your...
Yeah, based on suspicion or reasonable suspicion, they can just take you up.
They can just arrest you, we're in a police state then, where people cannot, and all. So, man, now, what's it called? That's where we're at now. And I've said it, I'm going to be taking it easy this year. Because if you are thinking about Nigeria,
you're going to take it easy.
Go just frustrate.
I like that.
You go just frustrate and all. Just pray that the what's it called? Nigeria doesn't happen to you, because that's what they say. Nigeria has happened to them. Just pray that Nigeria doesn't happen to you, really.
This guy's life is gone now.
Exactly.
He's in SCID.
Exactly.
They're going to nail him.
Exactly.
The self-defense thing, he needs to have like strong lawyers that can really prove a case. Yeah. And even at that, he's going to lose like the next 4 or 5 years of his life chasing up this stuff. If
he has strong lawyers, the legal institution that wants to make a scapegoat of
an
him.
Example.
Yeah, they want to make an example of him. Say you are firing, and all.
Yeah.
So we're actually in a country that, so if people are now saying Kemi Badenoch is saying this, saying that, doesn't this justify what Kemi Badenoch is saying? Where people cannot, they can't rest their head, in the middle of the night after they've paid for their borehole when there is no water. After they paid for their security, and security that they paid for, they have to now also secure themselves, because they can kidnap the security. They have to now secure themselves again. They paid for to tar the road, because this is the East. They paid to tar the road because the government refused to tar the road. That's where in Benue that, tanker went off and all. The same thing went off, and all. They also pay for, how many things we pay for here? How many tariffs that has been increased on our dime that the government was not doing anything about? How many times they've increased, what's it called, units of PHCN just because they said you are now having 16 hours or 14 hours lights, you know, and
petrol pump price keeps going up.
You know, so what they said the government was doing was they were calculating in their head, say whenever they don't have light, they're always using petrol. You can imagine.
So it's cheaper for them anyways. But it is cheaper. You know, the banding pricing is cheaper at the end of the day than running on petrol or truck.
Yeah, so, I mean, kudos to you and all. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them.
All right. Anyways, that's as much as we got time for today on the show. We do hope that you found this content entertaining and interesting. Give us a like, subscribe, follow us, leave a comment on our discussion points for today. But it's been a pleasure having you join us. We're going to sign out. See you all next week. Till then, stay jiggy. Sebunana Kusasa.
All right. Catch you next time.